let's go ahead and delve into some takes on the election,
Sure.
as we are fresh off it. Not even 24 hours into Trump being declared the victor. How fitting is it also that he seals the deal in Pennsylvania at about 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the same state where there was an assassination attempt made on him in July. He comes back to Butler, PA, months later, just recently, and has a ridiculous turnout, and all these people are there. Just insane, like kind of storybook type thing there. So, um, I don't think neither one of us really had we were never like, oh, it's a lock, Trump's going to win it, whatever. Like, I mean, I think we were somewhat confident, but you never know with these things because of what we've seen happen in the past. And as we zoom out here, I don't know if you feel this way, Ewok, but as we zoom out and look at 2020, I think it's becoming even more clear that that was an anomaly, that was a special election, and some things were clearly probably taken advantage of at that time.
Yeah.
And that's what had so many of us gun shy this time around. I mean, many people, you said it the other day, I know many other credible people were saying we're not going to know anything about these results till Friday and all this stuff. And it's well, that's what we were used to with the last election, but we didn't have the volume of mail-in voting this time. And as you've continued to lay out, Republicans were going over these things with a fine-tooth comb this time around after last time. So I guess first off, just give me your interpretation on the results. Because again, this wasn't just oh, Trump won the election. This is absolute, utter dominance in every way. It basically was 2016 2.0. I mean, it was basically the whole Hillary Clinton basket of deplorables thing. And then, Biden calling Trump supporters garbage the other day. It was all the same thing again, where it's okay, there's a growing, coalition or people coming behind Trump's coalition, which that I think is the best thing that he has done, is assemble the RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, these people who were not at all in any way, literally the opposite of conservative. You know what I mean? And he's just formed this group behind him, which I think is so great because it's you're not really just electing Donald Trump. You're actually electing this group of great thought leaders and stuff. So I know I'm going all over the place, but this is a win going away, winning the Senate, winning the House, winning the popular vote, everything. So how surprised are you of this? And what is your kind of perspective as we're, a day out basically of the results here?
Well, I knew that people felt that they had to get out. One of the big things was a very telling sign was Elon being on Rogan the day before election day, I believe it was. And it was almost his plea to guys, if you don't vote and if we don't win this could be very well the last election that the Republicans have a chance. Only because of the migrant situation where they were literally flying them into these cities and these states and trying to get them certified, trying to get them to be able to vote. It would have thrown everything out
for the wrong candidate there.
Well, I don't think they had enough time to follow through their plan. Or they voted for Trump.
Maybe. I don't know.
And it's very possible, but who knows how it played out. Again, you brought up the fact that the one thing that did surprise me is that we did have an answer last night. And I believe people were when they wanted to call it at a certain time or whatever, they're nope, keep going. We're here. Let's do it. Let's get it done with. And I think that pushed them to just finish it. And what was there, and there was no funny business going on at 3 a.m. with a truckload of all these things that showed up. You know what I mean? Like last time. So yeah, very surprised. It was called last night. I could have seen it going into, what we were used to from last time, at least a day or two, if not more. But everybody seemed to be on top of it. A lot of eyes, and I think that made a huge difference. That people were willing to stay, get it done, and do whatever it took. So, but yeah, I still feel that like I said, the Elon podcast
Mhm.
definitely had some benefit to it. I think his contest had something to do with it,
Mhm.
you know, where they were getting people registered, just get registered and vote. Um, you know, it, it played out well. I mean, when you look at the numbers, Trump literally had a very similar number of total votes as he did in 2020. It was just that many more than where those other ones came from last time. So
Mhm.
surprised to see the consistency of the Republican vote. Right? We saw the chart. I know you and I were talking about it earlier today. And how that one anomaly in 2020 just came out of nowhere with all those extra ones. But
Mhm.
um, it's crazy how they've stayed consistent throughout the years. And I don't know if it was or around here, I felt like the numbers were low. I felt like people just didn't go out and vote. I was a very low number when I got there at noon, um,
Mhm.
much lower than historic elections. I remember being in the thousands, at least over 1,000 anyway. And I was only 360 or 380 or something like that at noon. So I don't know if they came later or what happened, but you know, this area that I live in is particularly blue, mostly. And it
Loser.
wasn't this time. It wasn't this time at all. So,
Yeah, that's crazy.
um,
How about
you
that?
know, so yeah, a lot of things got flipped. I was surprised at that, as well as some of the areas that predominantly are blue didn't end up that way, um,
Or at least we're much closer.
or at
Like
least very close.
I forget the exact number, but for New York City, like Manhattan, he lost it, but I mean, he was the closest. It was the closest margin of victory ever,
Yeah.
or in a very, very long time for a Democrat to win it. Yeah.
Well, and I think that has a lot to do with him going to the Bronx and doing those things and holding the rallies that he had and talking to the people. Um, you know, it all adds up, right? I mean, but yeah, very, very surprised by the way it played out, and you know, couldn't be more happy. Obviously, you know, you mentioned it at the beginning of the show, but you know, he's definitely pro-Trump because of the crypto reasons.
Mhm.
Mostly, I mean, there are many other reasons why I think you know we needed to clean some house. Um, I do hope Elon does what he does with the efficiency thing and gets rid of a lot of wasted spending that we have. How many? I forget. He listed how many department 413 different agencies. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, most likely there's not anybody that can name them all and what they do. So